All right, this is Nathaniel Kane asking for permission to interview
Mike Golash.
What was that name?
Mike Golash, Golash.
And what did you do before you joined the Occupy movement?
Well, I retired for a couple of years, but as work, I used to be a transit worker in Washington. I was a bus operator, I was a union officer, and that's what I did.
And what made you want to join the Occupy DC movement?
Well, I've been, for many, many years, I've been concerned about the issues of social justice in the United States, and I saw this as an opportunity to join with other people who are concerned about the tremendous disparities that have grown in income over the last 20 or 25 years in this country.
Was there a last straw that broke the camel's back, per se, or was when you heard about the movement, was it just something that sounded good to get involved in?
There was no, I've been looking for this type of uprising for many, many years, basically. I knew that the pressure on working people in this country, on students, was becoming unbearable. It was only a matter of time until something burst out, and when this began to develop, I immediately became involved.
Now, we recently had rioting in Oakland. Is there any concern of things like that happening here, or is there anything you guys are taking, any preparations to make sure things like that don't happen here?
Well, I think the situation in Oakland was sort of unusual. I think here in Washington, the police and the government have been experiencing many, many demonstrations over many, many years. And after the World Bank demonstrations in 2000, where they acted rather aggressively and arrested quite a number of people unfairly and then were sued and it cost them millions of dollars, they basically have been a little more considerate about demonstrations and people's free speech and right to assembly rights. I think as long as the community supports us, and I believe that's what's going on now, unions, churches, schools, neighborhood organizations are supporting us. The polls show 30 to 40% of the population supporting us. I don't think we'll be attacked, but we have, been thinking about what we do. How would we resist if there was an effort to remove us? And basically our strategy of resistance is, if that comes, is to try and get as many people that support us down here to say no, hands off.
You don't want the troublemakers, right?
Right.
And as we can see with the colors of the leaves behind you, fall is on us and it's getting chilly. We had snow last week. Have you guys, what kind of preparations have you guys thought about? What you guys are going to do when it really gets cold?
Well, we've been trying to put a lot of the tents on skids so they won't be directly on the ground. We feel that will help. We have plans to get a large tent, which would be like a dormitory, and which we'd use propane heaters or some form of heat, which would not make it warm, but would take the bite out of the coldest days of the winter, basically. We've also got a number of organizations in this neighborhood which are letting us use their conference rooms, their showers, to, recuperate from extreme weather conditions. So I think we can make it through the winter.
Another interesting aspect to this story is the incorporation of the surrounding areas homeless. As a member of the movement, are you for or against the incorporation of these people?
Well, I think the homeless are obviously part of the 99%, and they're more than welcome to participate in our activities. Some of them have been helping us keep the place clean, help us put up the tents, help cook the food. So we're certainly welcome their support, and we're certainly interested in fighting for them to have affordable housing, to fight for jobs, to fight for decent medical care. So their interests and our interests are very parallel.
As far as back to the troublemakers, is it a self-policing society? Do some people take it upon themselves to police society, or how do you people achieve justice?
We have what we call a de-escalation committee, which tries to peacefully resolve any disputes. We basically, for the most part, have been able to keep the police away. We've like I said, we've been able to resolve most of the problems ourselves. We'll be able to do that all the time, hopefully, but there's no real guarantee. But to be honest, hundreds of people pass through here every day, and we've had very, very little trouble.
All right, I got one last question for you. How long do you plan on staying in Occupy DC, as long as everything stays status quo as it is right now?
Well, we plan to stay as long as it needs be to address the issues that we think are important. As long as the wage disparities, large amounts of unemployment continue, we'll be out here to try and keep the dialogue going about the need to deal with these issues. I think the main accomplishment of this movement so far, instead of talking about debt reduction and cuts in social services, the political discourse in this country has become one in the last few weeks about economic disparities, about social justice. And we think that's a very positive accomplishment. We think it will continue to develop in that way.
All right, I want to thank you for your time.
All right.
Is Nathaniel Kane, college student, asking
Brian Grimes.
Permission to use this?
Yes.
All right, Brian. I wanted to know how do you guys plan on dealing with the inclement weather that is obviously coming this way?
Well, you mean like regular winter weather coming, or is there something?
Yeah, like how are you guys going to deal with, like, it snowed last week, it's going to continue to snow,
okay.
the cold, the wet?
Well, we're going to continue to weatherize and winterize what we have, and as possibility to upgrade stuff happens, we'll do that. We'll use tarps and stuff to help continue to weatherize. More blankets, more sleeping bags to help keep people warm and dry. Continue collecting donations of dry clothing, warm clothing to help people warm and have dry things to change into. I believe there are some other plans in the works for ways to help keep warm and dry through the weather. That I'm not necessarily a part of that committee, so I don't know all of their plans.
So there's a committee that will meet and discuss this?
Yeah, we do have a committee that meets and they discuss how to meet the needs of people and how to best weather the winter weather.
Do you know how often this committee meets? Do all the committees meet on a regular schedule?
Well, most of them seem to pretty much meet daily. I mean, even if it's just to get together and say, okay, we're still working on this, we have nothing really new to discuss, they at least get together and do that, or check for new ideas. A lot of times, since we're all pretty much becoming fat, if we're not already, we're pretty close friends to everybody. So, sometimes they'll have little talks as they see each other, and just, hey, I'm working on this, or hey, I found this. So.
And how long have you been down here?
I've been down here since the 3rd of October.
The 3rd of October. And as long as things stay as they are, how long do you plan on staying?
As long as it takes.
As long as it takes for the 1% to give it back?
Oh, it's not about the 1% giving it back per se. It's the opening of the dialogue to change things to the way they need to be. That the government needs to focus on social issues at home, not profiteering and trying to get payoffs and all foreign policy when we've got so many problems at home that need to be fixed.
Do you plan on participating in tomorrow's bank protest?
I have not yet personally decided, but it's mostly based on a health condition for me.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for your time.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
Thanks.